been testing that's working very well that helps you get prospects that are in your local service area and that already want your services to call you instead of your competition. So I'm going to be talking about how this is not a very complicated strategy, how you can do this without having to gamble thousands of dollars up front to see if it's working like you have to do with a lot of other types of marketing, how this can work sooner than you might expect. Typically, you could start receiving good high quality phone calls within 24 to 72 hours, and then you have the ability that if this is working for you, again, we always recommend that you start slow and let's see if this is working for you. If it is working with you, you have the opportunity to scale it up, but again, only after you're seeing the results that you want. So let me tell you a little bit about myself. My story is a little bit of background. My name is Justin Williams, and my wife runs a local service business. She happens to run a pet sitting and dog walking company. And so I've helped her out with her marketing. And over the past couple of years, we've really been focused on finding cost effective strategies for delivering really predictable stream of high quality leads. And again, cost effective is a really important part of that. You know, we didn't have a huge budget for this, and we wanted to make sure that we were getting cost effective lead generation, right? So we tried just about everything you can try, from search engine optimization to pay-per-click marketing to Facebook ads to print ads to doing yard signs and car magnets to being in networking groups. All of these have their place and they're all valuable. Some of them work better than others, but what we really came to appreciate over some time, and what I'm sure you already know as a local service business owner, is that there really is nothing better than receiving a phone call from a potential customer, because these are people that they want what you have to offer, and they typically just need a couple of questions answered before they're ready to do business with you. They're as good a lead as you can possibly get. So in all of our testing and looking around at different marketing avenues, we actually learned about a strategy that not a lot of people know about, and I almost guarantee your competition doesn't know about, but they will in the future, so it makes sense to jump on this sooner than later. We learned about a strategy that gets these ready-to-go type prospects to call you, and that delivers really by far the best return on investment of any of the marketing that we tested and tried. Now, this is probably important to you because what we've seen in just talking to other people is that most local service business owners tend to do their marketing ineffectively. And you know, you might also sense that the competition for leads and jobs has gotten more intense over the last few years. You probably have noticed that the marketing costs are going through the roof. That can eat into your profits. You might, however, if you're not doing this, you might feel like you're really falling behind the times because everything is really going digital. So if you have any of these types of concerns, we can probably help you. And again, we do stuff really low pressure. We just want to help. If it's a good fit, it's a good fit. If not, that's fine. Okay. So in terms of whether or not this is a good fit for you, basically you need to run a local business. Okay. You have to have the mindset that you want to grow your business. In other words, if you have all the business you can handle already, you know, great. I'm happy for you. This is probably not what you're looking for. And again, you are looking to expand your marketing, but you're the type of person that really only wants to get a clear and direct return on your marketing dollars, right? You want to see the return on those dollars. You have to be the type of business that wants more phone calls. You have to have a system of answering your phone calls, and you have to have relatively strong communication skills so that you're able to convert those customers or those calls into customers. Again, you don't have to be a slick salesman that converts everything. Not what I'm talking about. Really, don't think you should be. You should be the type of person that wants to consult with people, but you have to have an ability that you have to answer your phone, and you have to have the ability to turn at least a percentage of those people into customers. Okay, so if that's you, and you provide excellent service, because you know, again, if you don't provide excellent service, nothing's going to work, and you're going to be out of business before you know it in this day and age. So you have to provide excellent customer service, and you need to understand what a typical customer is worth to you, and you certainly want to have an edge over your competition. You have a little bit of a competitive streak within you. So if that's you, that's probably a good fit, and I would recommend that you watch the rest of this video to learn more about this strategy, and let's see if it's something that might be of benefit to you. Okay, so next, let me talk about what makes this a different type of marketing than what you're probably using already. Let's talk about this, call ad program that I'm talking about versus word of mouth. Well, to be honest with you, there's nothing better than word of mouth. There's nothing better than a referral lead. We can't beat that. The problem is, and I recommend you try to get as many referrals as possible. It is absolutely the best way to build a business. The problem is that most businesses can't sustain themselves on referrals alone. If you can, that is great. You don't need this, but most businesses can't, and you typically can't, do it on demand. It's not a predictable stream of word of mouth. Okay, if you have that in place, great. Then you compare this to, old kind of what we call old school marketing, print, billboard, promotional, that sort of a thing. These are good, but these just happen to be, it's more of a happenstance where a person that is in the market for what you're looking for happens to see one of your ads. They happen to be driving by a stoplight where you have an ad in the ground, and they happen at that very moment to be stopped. These are great. You should try them. You should do them. Again, they're not great repeatable sources, and the return on investment is questionable and certainly hard to track. So again, try them, but it's not a great method for repeatable, high quality leads. Now, another one is search engine optimization. Now, search engine optimization is very valuable. Really recommend that you do it. It's a great thing to do. Okay, you need to come up relatively high on Google and the other search engines. The problem is that it can take months and often years, depending on how competitive your market is in your area, to rank on the first page. Right? You can spend an inordinate amount of money and really work your way up to the top. You're still vulnerable to Google's algorithm changes. Right? Compare that to what we're doing with our call ads program. You're typically getting results within 24 to 72 hours. You're able to see if you're getting an immediate return on you're able to see if you're getting a good return on your investment immediately, right? You don't have to spend hours, or you don't have to spend months and years working your way up the search engine. Let's compare this to, Facebook or social media ads. Again, social media ads are great. I recommend that you try them and do them. There's nothing wrong with any of these things. But what the issue with a social media ad is that it's interruption marketing, right? You typically need a pretty good discount to make it work, and the cost of these can add up pretty quickly. So the difference with us is that these ads are not interruption marketing. It means we're not trying to, if someone's scrolling through their feed, we're not trying to grab their attention and kind of take them out of their social media trance. These are people that are already looking for your services in your area. It's a lot easier, rather than going up to everyone and saying, hey, do you want my services? It's a lot easier if someone stands out and says, hey, I'm looking for your services. And again, that's the only kind of leads that we're delivering to you. Instead of trying to be the shotgun approach with everyone on social media, we're trying to do more of a laser targeted approach for people that are already looking for what you have to offer. Now, finally, let's compare this to pay-per-click ads, Google ads. Pay-per-click ads can be very effective. Again, I recommend that you do them. And that's probably the closest comparison to what I'm talking about now with our call ads program. The challenge is this can get very, very expensive, especially if you're in a competitive industry. Now, if you're not familiar with pay-per-click ads, if you ever go to Google, you'll see paid ads either on the top or the side. You can kind of see that with the image here that I've got. And the challenge is, I've seen industries where you have to pay, $100, $200, $400 per lead if you're in a really competitive industry. Most local service businesses tend to be more in the $50 per lead, or excuse me, per click range. So that means that every time someone clicks on your ad, whether they do anything or not, you paying $50, right? So generally speaking, it takes someone 8 to 10 clicks before you actually get someone to call you, right? They're going to check out your website, but they're not quite to that stage where they're ready to give you a call and do business. So if you're paying $10 per click and it takes you 10 clicks to get a call, you're actually paying $100 per lead, per call. If it's $50 or $100 per click, you can see that ad skyrockets pretty quickly. So we deliver these high quality leads, even probably higher quality leads, for a much lower cost per call. Okay, so what I would recommend, and that was the purpose of talking about some of these other marketing opportunities, is to diversify your marketing. Again, traditional referral, SEO, social media, Google ads, those are all great. I would recommend exploring all of those marketing channels, and it really is a wise thing to do. But if you want customers as quickly as possible for a minimum upfront cost so that you can see an immediate return, then I highly recommend you diversify your marketing and at least check out this call ads program that I'm going to be talking to you about. So, that's what we specialize in. If you had a heart problem, you'd go to a heart specialist. If you want call ads, you come to a call ad specialist, and that's what we do. We're kind of on the forefront of this evolving technology. So What we do is we specialize in delivering qualified calls from prospects in your area in the hours that you want, looking for your services. The business model is really simple. We help you get more of what you want, which is more customers. Now, this is very important. These are exclusive calls. These are never shared leads. There are some of the big companies out there that do a lot of advertising on TV and radio. They advertise, lead generation programs. The problem with a lot of those is that these are shared leads. So they're sending out, you may get a lead, but they're sending that out to 5 or 10 other providers as well. And so it kind of becomes a race to the bottom. It becomes an auction. Who can respond the quickest? Who can give the lowest price? That's not the ideal lead that you're looking for. These are exclusive leads. This phone call is just going to you. Another important thing about how this works is that there are no long-term contracts. There's really no commitment. In fact, we really think it's best to start very slow, almost like a first date. We don't want to get married. Let's just go on a date. If it works out, we can progress in our relationship. And of course, we'd love to work with you forever, but we want to make sure this is working for you and make sure this is the right market, the right industry for you. So again, let's start slow. Let's start with a very small, ad program. If it's working, we can scale it up. If not, that's okay too. We can drop it. So in terms of how this works as well, you are only charged, we charge per lead generated, per call generated, okay? But it's important to know that you're only charged per qualified call, okay? So if you get a call from a salesperson, or if you get a call from someone that's inquiring about a job with you, or if it's a wrong number, or if it's someone out of your service area, you are not getting charged for that call, okay? You're only getting charged for a genuine prospect, someone who's inquiring about your services, your prices, that sort of thing. If not, you're not getting charged for that. So these are legitimate, high quality calls for people in your area that are looking for your services. Okay. Again, that's what we do. We deliver the qualified calls. That's what we do. Your job is to convert those calls. You have to pick up the phone. You have to convert those calls into customers. Uh, Important to note, we don't work with just any business. We want to partner up with high quality, professionally operated businesses, probably just like you. The reason for that is that we want to eventually, in every industry, in every location, there are enough leads to go around, but we want to work with someone who is going to do a good job by customers and who's going to be around for a long time so that we can have a partner for a long time as well. I'm sure you understand that. So a few basics or a few kind of ground rules. You have to answer your phone. If you let everything go to voicemail, this isn't going to work. So either you or someone who works for you needs to be answering the phone. You have to be at least competent at converting those phone calls into customers. Again, it doesn't mean that you have to be some slick salesman that's selling everyone. You should be a consultant and answering questions. But if you get 10 calls, you're not going to turn all 10 of those into a customer, but you should have the ability to at least turn a few of those into customers. If you can do that, then this absolutely will be a great return on investment. You have to provide great service. Again, it doesn't, in this day and age, if you do poor service, people are going to talk about that and you're going to be out of business, and it's not work. We'd rather work with someone else in your industry. So you have to do great service. You have to do great by your customers. And if it sounds like that's who you are, then I would recommend we explore this further, because it's important to know that we only work with, and this is great for you, we only work with one business per industry, per geographic area. So if you're a plumber in Poughkeepsie, we're only going to work with one plumber in Poughkeepsie, right? So we're not trying to play competitors off of each other. We want to work with one business per industry, per area, to really help them get these phone calls ahead of their competition. So if all of this sounds interesting and you'd like to learn more, what I recommend is you fill out the basic application form below, then we can schedule a call. Now, I want to be real clear. This is not a sales call. This is a consultation. I am not going to try to sell you. I'm going to tell you about what we have to offer. If you like it, we can start very small. And if it works, we can expand that relationship, okay? If it's a good fit, you like me, I like you, we feel like we can help you, that's great. If not, we'll speak for a few minutes and we'll go our separate ways, and that's not a problem at all. Just want you to know that this is not a sales call. This is just a consultation so that you can determine if this is a good fit for you, okay? A couple questions that we often get. Do we offer a free trial? We don't offer a free trial. We want people to really be invested in trying to make these phone calls work when they get them, okay? So what we do instead of that, there's still no risk. it's the same no risk idea as a free trial. We just want you to be kind of have skin in the game, if you will. And the way we do that are a couple of different things. Again, we like to start very small. For example, with just 10 calls. If you after 10 calls you're not getting a return, then this isn't going to work for you, and that's fine. And we will absolutely give you your money back. So there's absolutely no risk in this. However, after 10 calls, if you've been able to convert 2 or 3 or 4 or 6 of these calls into customers, you're going to love this, and we're going to want to expand our relationship, and that's great too. So there's absolutely no risk on your end on that. Another question we often get is, how do you know which calls are coming from the leads we're generating for you versus the normal phone calls you get? There are a few ways about this. Number one, you're given access to an online platform where you can look at all the call tracking. Lets you see the time of the call, the phone call, whether the call was answered. If you want, we can do a recording of the call. We can even, if you like, put a little audio, 1 second audio prompt at the beginning so that you know it's coming from one of our calls. So there should be no question as to what's a legitimate call and what's not. Again, will you be charged for wrong numbers or bad calls? Absolutely not. You're only charged for good, legitimate call leads. So if it's a wrong number or a repeat caller or a salesperson or someone out of your area or someone seeking a job, you're not paying for that. You're only paying for qualified leads, right? And again, I know I mentioned this a minute ago, but just a reminder, I'm not trying to sell you anything. We're simply offering a proven method of getting high quality leads that your competitors are not yet aware of, and most likely, okay? We want it to work with you. We want to do business with you forever. So that's why we want to start small. And if it doesn't work, you get your money back. Again, we're talking really small amount up front. And if it doesn't work, you even get that back. If it does work, which we think it will, if it's a good fit, then you're going to want to expand that because you're going to get a return on those dollars anyway. Just to recap here, what you get exclusive calls from prospects in your service area. You have the ability to track all of this call data. You're not charged for calls that are not legitimate. We don't work competition, okay? We want to start small to see if it's working for you. And if it's not, there's a 100% money back guarantee. No risk, okay? In terms of what you must do, you have to answer your phone. You have to be at least competent at turning those callers into customers. You have to provide excellent customer service. And if that sounds like you and this sounds like something you want to explore, then I highly recommend filling out the brief application form below. We'll get the ball rolling. We'll jump on the phone and let's see what happens. So I would love to hear from you, and I really hope you'll fill out the application form below. It's a relatively short form. It just helps us get some information so we can help you better when we get on the call. So if that sounds good, I hope you'll click on the button below, and I would love to speak with you soon. Thank you very much. Talk to you soon.